3, 2, 1.
Light them up.
I'm Paul.
This is Buck.
This is the Paul and Buck Show.
Hey, the big Buckin deal. Hear us. Download the latest app at paulandbuckshow.podbean.com. Hey everybody, this is Buck, Paul and Buck Show, big Buckin deal. This is more of like a lost episode that I did. It's probably been about a couple weeks. About 4 weeks ago. But yeah, this is if you want to call it a lost episode. But again, so I normally don't do stuff solo, but being that we're just coming out of summertime, a lot of us are really busy, including myself. We're just tied up with a bunch of other things. But again, this is if you want to call it like a lost episode. But this was basically, I wanted to follow up with some events that happened back in June, right? The event out there at Little River back at the beginning of June. Big Sleepy Bar None Fade All there at Little River. I guess it was on one of our last episodes last year. I guess it was in May sometime. We talked with Thomas Webb, Jay, and David Stidham. What they had going on, what they're getting ready for that particular event. I guess Jay ran Top Gun, all these classes, Top Gun, and they were having, of course, little hitters. Thomas went in. I guess Thomas went out. I guess he was down to a couple cars in that particular race. I'm not sure. I don't think Jay was like the reigning winner from the previous Top Gun. I don't know if I don't recall if he made it down to a couple rounds, but I don't think he repeated. But again, this was back in June to repeat. Like I said, this is just kind of going over from that time and that part of the year, right? It was basically after June. But moving forward, right, and I think they have they're gonna have the picnic back in September sometime, towards the end of September, which is still like a month away from now, maybe. But before that, right, I wanted to kind of recap of what was mentioned in that one episode with I believe it was episode 33 with Jay and Thomas and David, that we had we were getting one of our other cars ready, the old 55, that we were going to try to go run the 6.0 class or index class. And before that, I mean, it was literally like the event was June the 3rd, the Bar None Fade All Big Sleepy's race in Little River. I think it was like the middle of May, right? We decided, we had an LS motor we're trying to get fitted into that 55, and we were doing some mods, and basically came to a standstill at one time, and we were for whatever reason, it may have been parts or something, we was at a standstill. We really didn't do nothing like the past couple months before. We were just kind of sitting there, and then all of a sudden my dad was like, well, we got this other motor here sitting on the side, let's maybe go try and run. All right, so run, the Bar None Fade All. I'm like, all right, let's do it. This is like middle of May, right? So this is like a couple weeks before the race. And not that there was a lot of work that we had done modified wise, but the wiring, I ripped out all the wiring. It was it was all gone basically. As far as that motor combination went with, and of course it was a Nitro motor. So yeah, we jammed on it. I worked LS Fest in Fort Worth like that whole week, and I was gone for like 4 days. For Holley, I worked for Holley, and I was working that event. But my dad did a lot of the work. He pulled up motors and put the other motor and got it all set up. And we had the original converter with that motor in my Camaro, which was a loose converter for what that car weighs. So we're like, okay, well, let's just put it in. We'll try it out. It was kind of loose, but we were going to try something different with some other fluid, whatever, try to tighten it up. So anyway, the update is right. The dad got it all running and had most of that wiring done. And then I had to go back in and, do all the controllers, the progressive and the pretty much the other part of the toggle switch, which was the original toggle switch that we had in that car, which was a painless, which that's what came in the car. And I was never a fan of that, or those switch panels. So we had it all in there. It was a rush. We got it wired up. I got everything finished up, and it was literally like, I think it was like that Tuesday before Big Sleepy's race. Like I said, we were, had it all wrapped up, and it was done. It wasn't up to my par, but we just got it ready. And so we went in, we tried to mess with the converter, right? Because we knew the converter was gonna be an issue. Well, yes, the converter was still loose. And so my dad had found one of our old converters that we had sitting there. He found in the back, it was an old TCI. It was like a 3800. It was a nitrous converter, had a balloon plate in it. I mean, I think this converter, this was back in like the late 90s. But it was blue. It went to, that joint down south, that converter place, they cut it open before. True Blue, right? True Blue. It had been down to True Blue. So it was fresh. It had opened up. They looked at, inspected for whatever reason. I don't remember why. But anyway, so it was there, right? This is Tuesday. And so, by Wednesday, we swapped converters over real fast and got it in there, and it was tight. It was tight. The motor acted a little, just like a tight converter would. But at that same time, we had the original that motor had the 434, the small block. That motor originally had a 1050 on it, Dominator. Well, my dad was like, okay, we got this 1150. That was off the big block. We that's what we ran. We put the 1150 on, and it was just a little bit too big. We knowing it was just gonna be a little bit, on the big side. But we tried it out. We put it on there, and like I said, the converter was, it was tight, just like how it should for what we're planning to do with it. And not knowing, untested, this was Wednesday, and then Thursday, we ended up going to the track that Thursday because this event was pretty big. And like everybody did. I think everybody showed up Thursday. Yeah, so again, we loaded up, got the converter changed, loaded up in trailer, got everything ready, bam, bam, bam. Was at Little River. Now, also going up to this too, our trailer, 4 years ago, back in 19, that was pretty much the last time we even took this car out, was in 19, where we kept our trailer. Our trailer was broken into. It was at a storage place there in Taylor. They busted the back door. And, of course, we don't keep nothing in there other than the golf cart. But the way the trailer was backed up against the fence, they couldn't do nothing anyway. They stole like a battery out of golf cart and like one of my canopies. So, but anyway, in between that time from the middle of May to my dad pretty much did wreck that trailer of the park. He had to rebuild that door, put a whole new piece of plywood in the back, made the lock, everything. So it was crunch time in that whole like 2 weeks. So not just with the car, but like everything else. Then of course the golf cart and generator sat for 4 years. So stuff with carburetor on the golf cart had to be rebuilt and redone, and the generator was fine. The generator was no problem. It cranked right up, no issue. So there was just a whole bunch of things that was leading on to go make this event. But I mean, it was worth it. We went out, tested Friday, ran a decent number. It was way slower than I did on motor before because of the converter. Expected. We made some hits there. The whole event was big. A lot of people, a lot of stuff going on. It was Saturday. I think we were able to make. We got 2 hits, and again, we're running the 6.0 class. So made 2 hits Saturday. Kind of blind. The converter changed up a whole lot of things from what it was before. I think the first hit we ran, you went a 599. 599 pretty much off the trailer, which is good. And made little tweaks, made another hit, ran 603, was ready. It was good. It was on. Now everything else was going on. All the other classes were good. All the index class, I think 7.0 had a good amount. 6.0, I'll say it was well over 20 cars. Good turnout. All the other fast classes, fast cars, a lot of cars, right? It was a lot of people. Again, for the 6.0 class, which was all those guys there in that race day class or anything, they're dead on, right? They got their cars dialed in. They're always dead on, perfect. So to continue, right? So we drew first round. I think it was, I don't remember what that time of day was. It was before the sun went down. I drew pretty well-known local guy there that he could dial in his car. He was squared, he was ready. And so I was pretty confident everything was gonna go down as we had tuned and had the car dialed in for. No problem, right? Anyway, go out there. I think we're like the 3rd car down in the 6.0, and track was good. Everything was tight. Go up there, do my burnout. We go up there to start staging, and I'm arming that one switch for my nitrous. Well, the switch panel, it had already had a rocker that was out in it, so I had to, I made a toggle switch for arming my nitrous. Well, I went to arm that switch, and it literally broke. It was a nice metal toggle switch. It literally broke in half. Well, no action. It wasn't toggling. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? Well, basically, yeah, that ruined my first round, right? Basically, right? So I didn't have no nitrous activation. It was dead. So, I mean, the gentleman I was racing, he went on to win. And yes, he went through the field, and he ended up winning the whole race. He ended up winning the whole 6.0 class. So, good thing that, he was racing against me, of course. And, like I said, he's a dead squared off racer. He's a good bracket racer. But he went on to win that 6.0 class, which is kick in the face. I think I would have given him a good race. But, that's racing, happens. Hopefully it won't happen again, but if the plan being, if we do plan to take the car out again to run and in that index class, then it will be definitely a different ball game. But at the end of the day, like I said, that motor, that motor's been in the Camaro. It's been in the 55 for a long time, but it's still a strong motor, and it's probably going to be, if we do make another index race, it'll have that combination because it's pretty square. And on top of that, we had just put on, or actually I had it, a Stinger 3-plate nitrous outlet, right? And yes, I could tell a big difference. It made a big difference to compare to the other plate I had on there. So shout out to Dave Vasser and the guys out there at Nitrous Outlet there. Like I said, it was hidden, and it wasn't even hidden all the juice, so it was good. But at the end of the day, that whole event, bar down fade all, that's the event you always look forward to around here. Of course, there's no other class racing going on, so that's one of the only times that you believe that you can go out and have fun, and just the fact of having a place to go race with that many cars out there, fast cars. So yeah, shout out to Sleepy, and all the stuff, and of course his picnic out there in us, that's once a year too. That's always a good event. I'm sure I'll be looking forward to that. Maybe try to make that one. I don't know. There's always something going on schedule wise, but at the end of the day, it's still it's still just a matter of having a place to go race. It doesn't matter what it is. Just go out and have fun. But again, to all the other guys who hang around in our crew, the Central Tech Streetcar Association, like Thomas and Jay and Stidham, they always got their cars dialed in, and they always are ready to go out and pretty much run wherever they get a chance to. So they probably feel the same way. But on top of that, right, on top of that event, and of course all the events that are going to be in the future here at the end of the year, right, hopefully it won't be too soon, and hopefully there's a lot more races that are coming up, whether it be indexing. I'm on board, right? Heads up, we'll get in where we fit in on any one of our cars. But at the end of the day, it's still just whatever comes up, whoever gets an event going on, it doesn't matter. So the other shout out, to all the guys doing the top end racing. I think they got one in the September too, at Little River. That's been a pretty big event going on. I think that's still like four and a half weeks away, I guess. But again, they're doing good things. That's another good event out there at Little River. They do pretty much top end racing. It's a pretty good turnout. I think they got multiple classes. I think there's a good amount of cars that still go out and run that too. So that's a good turnout for that. The other thing that we wanted to talk about, or that what I want to talk about, was that over this summertime, right, this break that we've had from our last episode, again, this is back in May, but again, there's a ton of things that's been going on top of just kids out of school and family vacations and things that go on outside of work or home, whatever it may be. But we've been on a little break. Again, me and Paul been pretty busy, just with the other things, and I've been continuing doing just wiring on the side that I do, my Syntex Wiring Solutions. For some that may or may not know, yes, I do have just a little shop that I do work on the side. This is definitely not something to make any money. It's just something I enjoy doing and helping people out. I'm not trying to fund anything by all means, just so we can have a place to do our podcast and for me to do my thing on the side. Been busy. I think I've done a few cars. I did take a break because I took about 4 weeks off, after the last car I did. Again, I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff going on, right? You come to a point where you either make a decision to, spend time with the fam and, do things your kiddos want to do and, what the wife wants to do. So, just took a step away for about 4 weeks. And again, I had some cars lined up, but I just said, hey, let's just pause and I'll get back to you. It will be getting back online. I do got like 3 cars lined up. I usually keep a car lined up somewhere but in the background if it's somebody who's not in a hurry. So I can definitely work around anything that as far as finance goes or time. If you're looking for something, you need something fast, yeah, we'll see if I can knock something out depending on what needs to be done. So anyway, so that's been going on. I'll try to get some updates of all my projects that I've done in the past couple of months on this podcast. But the other thing is, future events. And I think I just mentioned earlier, right? If there's anything that anybody has that want to give a shout out to that they're promoting, anything for the end of the year, just give a shout. Right? We'll try to shout out on the podcast. Another thing that was brought up is that being that some may or may not know, yes, I work for Holley. I'm just a sales guy. But all the ins and outs of new products that's coming out just recently, and of course, like I said, this is a lost episode that I recorded 4 or 5 weeks out ago. But right at that time, right, there's going to be stuff that's coming out on Holley that may strike some interest, right, for some. Just like literally a couple of days ago, Sniper 2 came out, right? Holley EFI throttle body Sniper 2 that has been released. I will say that this product's been in the works for the past 2 years, maybe 3. It's been working in the background, and some people may or may not know that the original Sniper has been out for 16, 17. There's been some much improvements. Sniper 2, the original Sniper had some flaws. There's some things that have been corrected. And yes, it is acceptable to RF, right? Radio frequency. The ECU is literally mounted inside that throttle body, right? So inherently there's going to be some problems. With the Sniper 2, like I said, it's been in development for some time. They've taken all those issues with the Sniper, the original Sniper, and made some corrections. Throttle blade position and the throttle body has been improved. Some people have hard tipping issues, whether they do from the throttle lever extension that can correct or the actual throttle blade position themselves inside the throttle body. That's been improved. The location of the ECU components, RF should not be an issue anymore. There's many other improvements, but there's some bonus factors or features that are going to be, you got your PDM, power distribution module that on some models you can expand, ecosystem, ignition, fuel pump, it's all ease on this distribution block. Yes, at the end of fall sometime and maybe the first part of 2024, there's going to be a new 5-inch screen strictly for the Sniper 2 only that's going to be available. And there's going to be Bluetooth, right? Bluetooth capability, meaning that you can connect to your phone and do a set wizard, right? Parameter changes, Bluetooth. That's a good feature. Anyway, yeah, there's also going to be a off the PDM. There's going to be for sniper, it's sniper 2 only, I should say, sniper 2 only, that they're going to be there's going to be a transmission controller for that, right? I think only for 4L 4-speed, basically 4L80s, 4L60s, 65, 70, 75, 85s even, for sniper. So that's I think that's gonna be a good thing too. The other thing that will come out, I say will come out very, very soon, is the 5-inch screen that was originally available for the original sniper only, which is a totally different part number. That would be for the sniper 2 5-inch screen, totally different. But the Holley 5-inch screen is now going to be available with the firmware update for Terminator, Dominator, and HP systems as well. So again, the 5-inch screen, that's the 553-200, which was originally just for the sniper only, because with that screen you could run a setup wizard, right? You can make the parameters on that screen. Is now going to be available for the Terminators and HP and Dominators. What else? So also you're going to, I think it's out already. I think it came out a couple days ago too. V3 Terminator, V3 build 110, I believe, is a new updated firmware that can be used on the Terminator system, and I should say Terminator X Max, to have the ability to run 6-speed transmission, so 6L80s. You're also going to need the 558-499 module, which is a harness and module that gives you the ability to make some parameter changes strictly on the 6-speed trans. Terminator system, Terminator X Max system only, right? So V3 build 110, V6 build 300. That's also out. That's strictly for HP Dominators. There is some much improvements that you're going to see from that firmware on the Dominators and HPs. Primarily, it's got a bunch of Hemi VVT improvements, or capability, I should say. And it's got some, I think there was an O2 sensor error on the previous version of V6 that this improves, the V6 build 300. And also, I think it was AFR on the dashes. That's what it was. Air to fuel ratio on any of the digital dashes or pro dashes. It helped improve. That's high level. This just, again, for people who follow Holley in general, or if they got any questions, right? Just, that's some things that you may or may need to know. So with all that being said, again, I should say that tech-wise, if you got any questions, just give the tech line a call, and you can bash the tech line. But as far as, well, they don't know everything. Well, when you have 60 brands under Holley that you have to tech, and EFI is pretty much our biggest, I should say, category to assist. But at the end of the day, like I said, we just don't tech Holley products. We tech everything. We sell everything. Majority of my calls will be sales, but there's some teching in there. But at the end of the day, I just want to give everybody a high level of what some of the new releases are through Holley, and there's going to be tons of other new releases that always be present. There's always things that will come up later. They keep stuff lock and key pretty tight. They don't share a lot of stuff because they don't want to get out there. But I understand. I mean, that's the way you should do it. But anyway, those are some of the new improvements on the Holley side, or stuff that's going to be available. The Terminator does have a lot of good, nice features that are going to be available, right? So that system's already the most popular. It's going to be even more. So with all that being said, that was just some stuff I wanted to touch on. Now, last thing, right? Just want to go and like I said, so me and Paul, we got a lot of good things coming up. We got some good folks coming that are going to be coming in. The other good thing is that yes, we're able to do Zoom. Right, we can, if you're unable to come in, we can do a real quick call and get a quick interview in. So just FYI. But here coming up in, when it comes to fall, September, October, a lot of car shows. Top Notch in Hutto, right? Second Saturday of every month now, they're going to get a gathering, which is always big. If you're familiar with the Top Notch in Austin, the car gathering, it's gonna be nice. And yeah, FYI, the Top Notch is in Hutto, Texas. Just like the event that goes on in Austin, right? They're gonna have music, food, drinks, nice cars. You can cruise in, sit there at the drive-in with your hot rod. So there may be some presence at that event. I'm probably gonna be there. Maybe not with the vehicle, but I'll be there just to hang out. Again, car shows. Taylor Main Street car show will be at the end of October. And we're going to try to get Jeff Snyder in. He is the event coordinator. I think he's the founder. He puts this show on, does real nice. That this event's been blowing up for the past 8-9 years or so. It's been getting bigger and bigger. I think last year they had well over 600 cars downtown Taylor, Texas. So that's going to be big. A few other local guys are going to be coming on. We're going to try to get some things lined up. We've tried to getting lined up with one racer. Just our schedules always kind of overlap. So, but when we get more details, we'll let you know when things come about. Like I said, there's a couple that we just been trying to get some schedules lined up, and there's always a conflict going on between either ourselves or that racer. But again, it's going to be maybe not quite as often as we were last year. It did get kind of hard for us in general doing the recordings and stuff that we're going to try to kind of tame it back on the scheduling, but maybe do every other week as opposed to every week. So like I say, last year we did like almost 35 episodes, 52 weeks out of the year, so it wasn't every week, but we were jamming. We did a lot. So, but we want to say we do appreciate everybody who has came on, and there may be, like I said, we've already reached back out and said, hey, maybe we'll do a catch-up episode. So with that being said, like I said, we do appreciate everybody's coming on and all the support. And we hope to continue. But again, from myself and of course Paul and Buck Show, Big Buckin Deal. Again, this is just a follow-up, just an update of what's been going on. It's try to put it out as soon as I can. Like I said, it's been recorded, some time ago in the middle of summer. So, let's see, anything else? Well, for those who follow or who may care or not, but so my Camaro, it's got a lot of work done, and appreciate all the people who helped out. Of course, Jay and Thomas, for giving input or doing some work on the ride. Like I said, Jay's done a lot. Appreciate it. And but hopefully, it's been sitting and it's been running. It's just been sitting, just doing some little things here and there that I've been wanting to do. There's no reason for me to not do it, because if I go out and start racing it, then I'm gonna forget what I want to do, or I'm not gonna have time to do what I want to do it. But it's been done, but hopefully, you know, very soon it'll be making its way out. I just want to go get some hits. It's been 7 years since it's been out down the track. You know, nothing major, just did a conversion, EFI. I mean, nothing else. Motor's been, it's got a few updates to it, but got the chassis was not rigid before when I had it out. You know, it was quick, but it was a lot of flexing going on in that car. The car was never made to go as fast as it's going. It was always just a street car. Anyway, you know, it was back maybe a couple years ago. We tied the front down bars to the main hoop or the main bar in the roll cage inside the car. Stopped the flexing in the front. Put some more, you know, bracing in it. Funny car stock, you know, fill the updates that I want to do. Move the shocks around the way I wanted it in the rear. But I'm gonna play with either tire. I'm gonna have both, either slick or radial. But anyway, like I said, I've always said of just getting where I fit in. You know, wherever the car fits in, we're gonna make some events, and you know, see what it does. Have fun. But again, thank everybody who's helped out on the car. You know, on another episode, we're going to get into some of the t-shirt design that Paul does, and we're going to go over and look at some of his designs that he did in the past. He's done a few for me, and so that's another thing we're going to do at another time. So be on the lookout for that. At the end of the day, you know, I want to wrap up, and again, I want to thank everybody for listening, and thank everybody who supports the podcast. Of course, if you are interested, come on, let me know. We'll get something rolling. It's always more the merrier, right? And the more we can chat about, the more we can have an opportunity to brainstorm and, you know, get all the races together and do something big. But once again, right, at the end of the day, we're going to wrap it up right here. I think that you know, this episode will come out soon, so keep your ears open for others, right? There's gonna be others, maybe something similar to this, because we've done some other recordings that were just kind of off the subject at the time, and just something that we would just, you know, get some audio. So anyway, and until the next time, peace out. Y'all be good.